I'm back with another scrapbook process video, and this layout is called Little Magician. And Corinne and I, we were at the dollar store not too long ago picking up supplies for a craft project we were working on, and we needed a silk bouquet of flowers. And so she picked out some flowers, and she says, Mommy, let me do a magic trick for you. Abracadabra! And then suddenly the flowers disappear behind her back, of course. So anyway, she thought she was, super clever. And I kept saying, oh my goodness, where are the flowers? Where are the flowers? And she goes, okay, I'll make them reappear. Abracadabra! And of course, the flowers would magically come back. And so I thought this would be a cute little story to put in her scrapbook because she's just super hilarious. And as we were walking by, people were just kind of giggling and laughing. And, of course, they thought it was super cute because she's a funny kid. So anyway, that's the story behind this layout. Now, this layout is going to be a hot mess initially. I start out using this beautiful yellow pattern paper and it has white stripes. Now, everything I'm using is from the Amy Tangerine Oh Happy Life collection, okay? So I thought that I'd be clever and do a little bit of mixed media. So I grab my Heidi Swap Mist and I have a color in Teal, and I think the other one's called like Pink Rose or something like that. So I'm spraying it on. And immediately as I spray it on, I'm like, oh God, hot mess, abort the mission, right? And I'm like, well, no, just go ahead and see it. See how it'll come out. Just live with it for a while. So I do. So I sprinkle both mist colors. It just looks horrible against against the yellow background, okay? But I'm going to commit to it, right? So I grab my big old honkin' roll of foam tape and I'm going to pop up my photo and I'm going to continue to layer. Now, I set it to the side because I'm kind of thinking maybe I don't want to use that background, but I just want to give it a shot anyway. So I grab from the collection some watercolor resist cards, and I've never used these before, so I'm really challenging myself to incorporate them in my layouts using this collection. So I'm taking some regular economy grade watercolors and then my watercolor pen. And I'm applying some different colors on there because this collection is uber colorful. So I thought that I would add multiple colors to this resist card. And it's so pretty. There's a floral pattern that's pretty consistent throughout the design of this layout. Okay, so I'm going to hit that with my heat gun, and I'm going to add that to the bottom because my idea was I'm going to create just this really pretty cluster there at the bottom. I'm going to adhere that down, and I'm continuing to look at the background, and the more that I look at it, the more that it looks stupid. I don't like it. Now, I wanted to keep all this footage in here because I don't want to give folks the impression that I do this professionally now, and of course still my hobby, and all of my layouts don't come out looking awesome the first time around, and most of the time I'll just go ahead and make it and be done with it because I got a lot of stories to tell, so I don't have time to redo scrapbook layouts. Ooh, had to get that out. But this one I just could not live with, but I'm going to continue to forge ahead, right? So I'm adding to the cluster. I grab a couple of die cuts, one that's a floral die cut and then a little owl. And there's lots of owls in this collection, which I love. I'm really into owls these days. I don't know why, they're just super cute. Then I grab the coordinating font stickers, both Amy Tan, and I write out the title, Little Magician. I can't say the word magician for some reason. And then I grab some rubber charms and I pull that one that says Sweet Things because I want a little bit more black there at the bottom. I also added some white skinny black washi tape. Not white, it's black skinny washi tape that comes with the Amy Tan collection. Love her washi tape. And then I'm going to add a few stickers there, right? Okay, so the cluster is looking great, and I'm thinking, what else can I add to this layout? Well, let's go ahead and add the big Giganto camera, because why not at this point? I'm just kind of going for it, so I'm going to adhere that there. And then I'm looking through all the different options that I have in the die cut packs here, sorting them out so I can see what I have. And I'm like, hey, let's add the giraffe. This layout has nothing to do with giraffes, but I don't care. It has nothing to do with donuts, but I considered adding that big honking donut too. Anyway, so I find a tag. I'm going to put the tag there, and that's going to serve just for decorative purposes. And I thought about journaling there, but no. Okay, so I've got my little giraffe, got my huge camera there. Then I'm going to go back to the transparency stickers, which are gorgeous. I wanted a little bit of black there by the photo. And then I pulled out those little rubber charm hearts as well. Then I said, hey, let's go ahead and stamp. I mean, if we're going to do this, let's do this big, right? So I grab a flower stamp. And I'm going to stamp the layout. I'm trying to decide where I want those hearts. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep them there. Now I'm looking at it and I say to myself, nope. Let's switch this up. Boo to that. So I grab another piece of pattern paper that has yellow and white stripes, but this time larger, and I'm already feeling better. I already feel that I can really breathe on this layout. So I'm going to transfer everything over from the initial layout onto this background. Only this time I'm not going to spray it to be damned with Heidi Swap Color Shine Mist in the back. I just needed that space to kind of breathe for a little bit. Now, I go ahead and transfer over that beautiful little cluster there, which I love. And that bottom sentiment says, a good life is a collection of happy moments, which is so true. And I've had tons of happy moments with my little one since I have a lot more time with her lately. Now I'm trying to mimic some of the techniques that I used on the previous page. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp and add the transparency stickers and my giraffe and my big old honking camera. Trying to decide, do I want to stamp some more? And I'm like, that might be overkill. Now I just want a tiny bit of Heidi Swap mist on there. So I'm just going to sprinkle some black velvet. And I try to be careful because when you're sprinkling, it can go everywhere. I'm going to add a bit of these enamel shapes to the layout. Not quite sure if I really like them, but they're there, so I'm going to keep them. And then I want to add another one of these transparency stickers that says, oh yeah. Now I want to add some journaling at the bottom, and I wanted to use my typecast typewriter, but I forgot about it. I wanted to type directly on the layout. And of course you can't run the paper through the typewriter with all this stuff on here. So I'm going to journal about, our trip to the dollar store and how we bought the flowers and, her doing her little magic trick and how it was cute. Then I stamped the date at the top there above the photos. And I'm going to call it done. I like this a whole lot better. It breathes a whole lot better. Sometimes you just have to go with it. And if you don't like it, start all over. I mean, why the heck not? All right, here is some photos. Thanks guys for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.